Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome on into another episode of the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We are going to have my co-host's just favorite episode in the entire 3 seasons that we have been doing this show here tonight. Why? Because he is all excited about his Detroit Red Wings, and he's going to tell us all about why they are headed in the right direction and why he thinks they're going to make a playoff run. Merry Christmas, Detroit, I guess. On the other hand, we keep having coaches getting fired. That's just all kinds of wild and weird stuff going on out there. We got to keep an eye on it and figure out what's going on in the NHL exactly with all these coaches getting fired. Besides all that, there's 11 games in action tonight, so we are going to be keeping to date on every single one of those. The Blackhawks and the Avalanche are going on. Connor Bedard is doing Connor Bedard things, so I at least have that going for me on that side of it. But we've got the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights, the Bruins and the Wild, the Rangers and the Maple Leafs, the Lightning and the Blues, and so much more going on in the NHL on this Tuesday evening, the last Tuesday before Christmas. Buckle on up, everybody. Settle in. We are getting ready for hockey talk. Here we go. And once again, hello and good evening, everyone. I am Adam Karnick. Zach Puplis is with us here as well. Together, we are the Neutral Zone, ready to roll here on this Tuesday evening, right before Christmas, as a matter of fact. How are you getting ready for the Christmas season, Zach? You got everything purchased? You all ready to go?
I just finished it up earlier tonight.
Oh, good work. For you. I was able to take the kids out Christmas shopping this weekend, get some stuff for the wife. So, you know, there's always a couple more things that you probably should go out and get. But if I don't make it out again before Monday, I think I've done okay for myself.
Right now, we just got to wrap.
Oh, yeah, that whole process. In our house, that basically winds up happening after the kids go to bed on Christmas Eve.
That's a good point.
It winds up being a very, very, very late night, Christmas Eve night, and we get to bed like at 2 or 3 in the morning, and then my daughter wakes us up way too early the next day, and we get to have fun.
Right.
So let's dive into this here, as Taryn is already into the chat room. Good evening, Taryn. He's glad that I'm able to be back. This is the first time I have been on these airwaves in over a week. I was not able to do my Chicago show last night. I got stuck in weather, so.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, between work and home, there was that lovely bit of snow band that also was with all the high winds, and it was, you know what, I think I'm gonna stay here rather than try to deal with downed power lines and downed trees and all that fun stuff. So
I don't blame you. Yeah, that wind was pretty brutal yesterday.
It was a lot. So, but we're back at it and we're ready to roll.
Not very happy with Taryn after what his Ducks did to my Red Wings yesterday.
You know, it was a good game. It was a tight game, 4-3. Anaheim figuring out a way to go into Detroit. You know, figuring that it was 4-0 at one point.
Well, if you look at it that way, yeah, that's a better way to look at it.
It was 4-0. The Red Wings outscored them 3-0 from, this early in the second period on.
They almost dug out of the hole. Yeah.
Just the Ducks got out to a 4-0 lead first in the first period.
Yeah, no, I just had to give him some crap. That's all.
Yep. He does apologize, though. Frankly, Taryn, you shouldn't apologize when your team wins. Just don't apologize.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fact that your team won.
Yeah, there you go.
We've got 11 games going on in the NHL tonight. 10 of them are active right now. We've only got one game left to start at this point. Let's run through the standings here. Let's run through the scores. We've got in Chicago, the Avalanche and the Blackhawks tied at 2. The Bruins and the Wild out in Boston. Bruins up 2-1 there. Blue Jackets and the Sabres. Ooh, Patty is not the host of our Buffalo show, the Buffalo Huddle. She's not happy, but Jen, the host of the Show of the Land, who was on right before Patty earlier tonight, she's happy because the Blue Jackets are up 7-3 in that one, with still a lot of the third period left to go there in Buffalo.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Browns 7 and the Bills 3 in that one.
Yeah.
Out in Toronto, the Maple Leafs and Rangers are tied at 2, as they're also about 13 minutes and change left to go in regulation in that one. Down in Tampa Bay, the Lightning are all over St. Louis, 5-0 in that one.
6-0, I see.
Oh, you're right. Tampa Bay did just make it 6-0. And before you ask, yes, Braden Point has been involved tonight.
So Buccaneers with 2 field goals and the former Rams with none. Okay,
with nothing, exactly. We really can't say the Rams anymore because they're not there. But in New Jersey, meanwhile, the Flyers and the Devils tied at 2 with 9 minutes to go. Hurricanes just destroying the defending champs, 6-1. 14 minutes left to go in regulation there. Wow!
Holy smokes!
Yeah, the Hurricanes just all over them tonight.
Whew.
Let's see. And it's been pretty much everybody scoring, too. Svechnikov got the most recent one for Carolina, but I see 6 goals, and I see 6 different goal scorers for Carolina at this point. So it is all over the board for everybody over there. And the Golden Knights have just pulled their goalie as well. So Patera is now in net as Thompson. Only 21 saves on 27 attempts. That's not going to get the job done very well for you.
Nope. Where's Aiden Hill?
That's a good question where Aiden Hill is right now. I believe he's hurt. Well, I'll double check that at one point. Well, you're talking about your Red Wings. I will check in on one Aiden Hill.
Sure.
The Islanders, they are tripling up Edmonton 3-1 at the end of 2. Edmonton has caught fire since firing their head coach a couple of weeks ago.
My question is,
speaking of Jen, she just hopped into the chat room.
My question is, how do you tell who's who in that game? That's a lot of blue and orange.
Yes, a lot of blue and orange in that one out in New York. Meanwhile, in Nashville, the home team Predators, well, they're not having a good time against the Canucks. It's Canucks 2, Predators nothing. Good riddance, I say. And then out in Mullet Arena, our favorite place to catch a hockey game, the Coyotes and the Senators are just underway. No score yet.
Ow! Yeah, that's a happy howl.
Yes. But, they're still in Mullet Arena.
Yeah. Still yet to come. We got Kings and Sharks at 10:30 as well.
Yes. And Jen B has hopped into the chat, hoping we have a great show. Jen, if we have as good of a show as your Blue Jackets are doing tonight, then I think we've done okay for ourselves. And in the time that I was doing that rundown, Zach, both teams scored in that game. It's now 8-4.
I was good. Yeah, I thought I saw something like change.
Apparently, they have outlawed goalies in Buffalo for the remainder of the game tonight. All shots must go into the net.
Right.
It's just a prerequisite, just a requirement. Yeah, and as I'm pulling up the score in that one too, that has been almost all the scoring has been in the second and third periods for Columbus. It was 2-1 Buffalo at the end of one. The Blue Jackets have scored
wild.
7 goals in the last 30 minutes of hockey.
Wild.
That is Adam Fantilli. Let's see. In the third period alone, he's got a goal and an assist. I'm looking quickly through the second period.
Marchenko's got a hat trick.
Marchenko with a hat trick already. Yeah, Fantilli, the goal and the assist in the third period. That's what he's got for the game.
Chinikov has 2 assists.
I was just seeing that. Yeah. Johnny Gaudreau with his 6th goal.
Oh, and he's got 2 assists as well.
Lots of scoring. The defense and the goalies are going to have a horrible-looking final line when they get done with this one, as there's 10 minutes and change left to go in Buffalo. 8-4, Columbus on top of the Sabres at the moment.
Your boy Tage Thompson's got a goal in the third period. And then Rasmus Dahlin's got a goal and an assist.
You know, they can score. They can score. Apparently, tonight at least, they're not able to defend, but that's a conversation for another time. All right, well, before we get too much further into this, because, Zach, I know you are gushing to talk about that team in Detroit with the spokes and the wheel and
the wing and the
You know, they're just trying to recreate the 2013 Blackhawks, right?
Well, obviously. I mean, I was definitely gushing 2 weeks ago when we last talked, but yeah, not so much lately. They're on a losing streak now.
Well, that's what you get for stealing. So first to break it, now Kane.
Right.
I'm getting more bitter about this by the day. I guess I should just lean into it, at this point. All right, well, before we get too much further, of course, we do want to acknowledge our sponsor here on the network and with this show and all the shows on the network. That's, of course, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm. They are the single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. This is some of the best jerky you can get your hands on. All you have to do is go to planetjerky.net. They offer free shipping on orders of $50 and above. And whatever your taste buds, whether you want something more on the savory side, you just want to do some smoke and barbecue style, or if you want to go crazy and go the full gambit with the Carolina Reaper, they have something for you. Plus, their packaging looks amazing with the astronaut hanging out in front of whatever planet they have on the packaging for you, with information, fun facts, and figures on the back of the packaging as well. You're going to have something there that you enjoy. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. And for the last 9+ years now, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Be sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. You can also check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each of our podcasts, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out the merchandise. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, Mr. Pupless, are you ready to gush and rave about your Detroit Thieves. I mean, Detroit Red Wings.
If you can't beat them, join them. What can I say? Or, well,
I suppose there is some flattery there. You are trying to create a team that won 3 cups in 5 years. I suppose there is some flattery I should take from that.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. There you go.
This is true. Just don't take my favorite player when you do it.
Okay. No promises.
It's too late. Too late.
Well, they've gone from smoking to slumping. They're currently sitting at 15-12 and 2, or sorry, 15-12 and 4, fourth place in the Atlantic Division. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They lost to Anaheim last night. Well, from Thanksgiving up until let's see, like 2 weeks ago, about the last time we talked, they won 6 of 7. So yeah, they were definitely on fire. Well, since then, in the 2 weeks that have followed, they have gone 1-7. Mostly close losses, except for 2. They had a big blowout loss to Ottawa 5-1, and they were doubled up by Dallas 6-3. Well, they're back at it versus Winnipeg tomorrow, 7:30. So we'll see if we can break that losing streak. Yeah. Well, the biggest news. Okay, Patrick Kane joining the team. They had interviewed him and asked him, okay, well, why did you choose the Red Wings? He had responded. He had received all kinds of different offers on where to play next, but only one team had it all, and it couldn't be ignored, and that was Detroit. Quote, the thing about Detroit was, anytime I really thought about any other team, I would always kind of come back to Detroit. There's a lot of good situations for you out there, and you go back and forth with some of them and what you want to do in your head. But I kind of knew Detroit was in my heart, knew it was where I wanted to be, end quote. A year ago, that sentiment could have felt forced, but now, consider Kane just one more member of the Red Wings' ever-increasing and increasingly star-studded bandwagon. Detroit has, after all, been in a years-long period of transition. Red Wings haven't been in the postseason since their record-setting run of 25 straight appearances came to an end in 2016. That bled into Detroit's current 7-year drought, a span that saw former head coach Jeff Blashill fired, near-total overhaul of the club's roster, and recently, at least, renewed hope that the Red Wings are finally getting somewhere. It's clear that Kane believes that's the case, but the 3-time Stanley Cup champion was drawn to Detroit because of the groundwork laid out before him by players who chose to put their faith in the Red Wings rebuild, such as Captain Dylan Larkin. He did that when he skipped unrestricted free agency altogether to sign an 8-year, $69.6 million contract extension last March. Alex DeBrincat, another one of your former Blackhawks, did it when he inked a 4-year, $31.5 million contract following a trade in July. JT Compher, fresh from a recent Cup-winning run of his own in Colorado, bet on Detroit in July too, agreeing to a 5-year, $25.5 million pact. And that's nothing to say of Detroit's rising young generation, helmed by Lucas Raymond and Calder Trophy winner Moritz Seider, both unabashedly happy to have been drafted on board. Or even the team's renewed vigor under Blashill's successor behind the bench, Derek Lalonde. Detroit now looks ready for a breakthrough and to break away from its painful past stretch outside the playoff picture. Didn't take long for Kane to see Detroit's potential. Getting on the inside, though, was an experience all on its own. Quote, I think the organization has exceeded expectations, Kane said on the eve of his Red Wings debut on December 7th. Just as far as how close the guys are in the room, how friendly everyone is, how dialed in they are with player personnel and taking care of each individual player. That's very impressive. Something I didn't know about them. It's impressive. It's a good fit. End quote. We can stop there for now. What are your thoughts?
They are making moves in the right ways. They really, as it pains me to say, they are making moves in the right way. I don't know that they're ready to necessarily make a run this year. They might sneak in this year. They might be able to sneak in, grab one of those wild card spots. You know, the Atlantic is not exactly a soft
division
division.
for grabs.
Yeah. It's not exactly a soft division as Columbus scored again.
Oh my God.
Henry Yokoharu coughed up the puck for Buffalo, and then I had the goal scorer, and then it went away from me. I apologize. I'm trying to get it back up here. I saw that Henry Yokoharu for Buffalo gave it up, and then the who was it? There we go. Kent Johnson then put it home for the goal for Columbus. So it is now 9-4 with 6 minutes to go. Go Columbus, get that 10th one. Get that 10th one. Thank you, Kent Johnson. Jen in the chat. Get the 10th one. Get the double digits. You don't see that in hockey all the time. Get the
right.
What would you even say? You'd say get the extra point at 7. Well, get it to 10. Get it to 10.
Yeah. We need a strike.
Yes. There you go. Yeah, we need a strike. There we go. But
but you bring up a good point about the Atlantic. I mean, it's a tough division to crack. I mean, you look at a lot of the teams in there, and what are you going to do? Be 4th or 5th at best? I mean, you got Boston, Toronto, Florida, Tampa Bay, Montreal in a given year might be good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 teams right there already. So then you're just trying to sneak, like you said, sneak in and under one of the wild cards.
Right. I mean, look at who's in front of them right now. You have
Boston, Toronto, Florida.
Yeah, Boston, the reigning President's Trophy winner from a year ago. You have Toronto with Austin Matthews, who just can score at will at any point in the game.
Who finally made it out of the first round and broke that curse.
Right, exactly. And then you have Florida, who, all they did was just make it to the Cup final last year. Yeah, it didn't end well, but, and
they were the President's Trophy winner the year before, weren't they?
What's that?
And Florida was the President's Trophy winner the year before, weren't they?
Correct. Yep. And then, by the way, Tampa Bay is in there too. So, it's just
former 2-time winner.
There's not a whole lot of room at the top of that division when you're an up and coming team. You've got a lot to crack there in the Atlantic. So you got to earn your stripes in that division. So it's
tough hill to climb. Yeah.
Yes. You're talking a wild card, which also then means you're dealing with whatever's left over in the Metropolitan too. So.
Which in recent years, Carolina, Rangers, Islanders.
Right. And Philly this year is at least trying to make us think that they're going to be something. I'm not convinced, but I mean, here we are at Christmas and they're in second place. So
true.
We should look at that before we get out of here, because, when we get to New Year's, that's really when it's, hey, the calendar turns on hockey and things start getting serious. But still, there's some teams that have positioned themselves up kind of nicely here as we're getting ready to flip the calendar from 23 over to 24.
Yeah.
But I see where stuff is going with the Red Wings. What are your impressions? I mean, you're the guy that follows them far more closely than I do.
Yeah, I'm right there with them. They have built a strong core with all their youngins, and then with all, whether it's Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin, of course, and then they've been able to build on that in free agency. And build out a free agency, and then with DeBrincat, Comfer, all these people they talked about, and then it's so the foundation of the young guys, and then the free agents, and then Patrick Kane, just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's a heck of some icing there. But it's overall it's an interesting product there in Detroit. They've certainly got potential. Gonna need time. Might need one of those teams from the Atlantic to surprisingly take a nosedive and help them out a little bit. But
yeah.
All right, let's take ourselves a quick little break, and then on the flip side, I want to close the loop on Adin Hill, and also we got coaches keep getting fired in the end. We've had like at least 2 more, I think, since last we had an episode. Is there something in the water with all these? Is there something in the like when the Zamboni comes by? Is somebody putting fire the coaches on the side of the Zambonis or something? We got to discuss this. You are listening to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Notorious Law.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff from my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick, Zach Puplis here with you on this Tuesday, December 19th, the Tuesday before Christmas. So usually Christmas, it's a happy time of year, lots of fun, lots of excitement. Not if you're DJ Smith. DJ Smith, up until yesterday, had been the head coach of the Ottawa Senators. He was relieved of his duties yesterday. Jacques Martin will take over instead in the interim basis. So we keep having coaches getting fired in the NHL this season. We have had, of course, already the big one, of course, Jay Woodcroft was out in Edmonton. Dean Evison out in Minnesota. Then we had Craig Berube a couple weeks ago out in St. Louis. And now we can add DJ Smith to the list in the NHL, as the Senators then had turned around and trying to, turn something out of this. They are currently blanking the Coyotes 3-0. So having some success there. I joked about it earlier, Zach, but why are we seeing so many coaches getting fired in season? I mean, we're at 4 already. That's a not insignificant number. When there's only 30 of these teams, and then we have 4 coaches out already. That's a decent chunk.
Yeah, that's definitely hard to believe. I feel like we're almost to the halfway point. Well, not even really, if it's going to end in June.
Yeah, I mean, most teams are around 30 games. Some are a couple fewer, some are a couple over, but we're roughly at 30 games for every team to this point. So not quite halfway.
Yeah, I think people have busy trigger fingers.
Very, very, very itchy trigger fingers. Yeah, I mean, it's... Well, in the case of Ottawa, they're in last. We were talking about the Atlantic. Ottawa's in last place. They're 11-15-0. They've only got 22 points in 26 games at this point. And pulling up our old friend Greg Wisniewski over at ESPN, he cites. Here's what he has to say as why he was fired. Senators are one of the season's biggest disappointments. They were supposed to be a breakout team in the division. Instead, that's your Red Wings. The only team in conference that they're better than as far as percentage points is Columbus, and Columbus just won 9-4 over Buffalo. With the first 3 guys gone, Smith was the next logical one to be expected to be out. You had fans chanting for his release during games. But it's just, to me, it's surprising that we're seeing all these firings this early.
Yeah, I mean each franchise has their unique circumstances that they're in. So I mean, like I guess I understand why Ottawa would this when they're in last place, and with Edmonton, they've always their Achilles heel has always been their defense, and it's like, okay, well if you're the coach and you still can't get that fixed, then what good are you? Almost.
Though in the case of Edmonton, I mean, since they let go of Woodcroft, they have really picked things up. They're now, the record still doesn't look impressive by itself. They're 13-14-1, but where you consider where they were, a month ago, they were at the exact I mean, we were talking about them in San Jose as being the bottom of that division there.
Yeah, true. Well, and maybe that's the initial domino that started all this. Like you said, like, oh, hey guys, well, we're doing poorly. Well, Edmonton fired their coach, and they're having, immediate dividends, immediate rewards. Let's try it ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And with Minnesota, I mean, they got rid of their coach, and look at some of the games that they've had the last couple weeks where they have been able to kind of turn a corner a little bit and win some games. 3-1 over the Blues, 6-1 over the Predators, 5-2 over the Flames, 3-0 over Seattle, beating the Flames in a shootout. They're starting to stack some wins together. They're tied with the Bruins at 3. It looks like they're about to head to bonus time, so they're getting another point tonight, provided that they hold on. So even though right now they're still next to the bottom in the Central, they're further away from the, they're closer to playoff contention than being in the bottom. They're, as it sits right now, they're 11 points behind Winnipeg for third, but they're only 4 points behind Arizona for fifth, which would be a potential playoff spot.
And they're 9 points ahead of Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of breathing room now between them and Chicago. So,
yeah.
Which, I mean, there's a lot of breathing room between NHL teams in Chicago right now.
Oh.
Yeah. That's okay. San Jose's in striking distance.
Hey, you got 3 cups in 5 years. I think you'll be okay.
We did, and we have Connor Bedard. So
yeah,
I'm making my way through.
There you go. Here's a question. Excuse me. NFL talks about Black Monday. So is there such a thing with the NHL that there's a specific day, like at the end of the year, where coaches oftentimes, if they're going to get fired, that's when they're going to get fired?
It's not as big of a deal.
Okay.
NHL coaches tend to get fired at any time.
Okay.
It's not quite the ritual that it is in the NFL. It
sure
more happens to be, we have decided we no longer want your services. Get on out.
Sure.
So it can happen at all kinds of times.
It can happen on a whim. Okay.
Right. It's a little more volatile. There's a good word for it.
Sure. Well, because when coaches get fired early like this, it makes me think of college football, and you see coaches get fired, 2 games in, 3 games into a season, or a year and a half into the guy's tenure, and it makes you think, well, maybe the team should have pulled the trigger the year before, and they're regretting it, and then they're, we're going to get itchy trigger fingers now to make up for our poor decision last year. Right.
Yeah. Then I'll bet you there is some of that with some of these general managers where it's, I should have done it. I should have done this in the off season. I should have. Well, do it now. It's never the wrong time to make the right decision, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you don't think the guy's right, get rid of him. Don't keep him just because it's in the middle of the season, or just because this is who we should have gotten to replace him. If the guy's wrong, the guy's wrong. Get him out. Don't hold on to him just because.
Well, yeah, I think you're going to do more damage to your team and your culture and everything in the long run if you do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't want to hang on to the wrong person, just because. So
if the gloves don't, or if the coach don't fit, you must quit. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that was a rough one. That was a rough one. As we turn our eyes back over to the scoreboard here, we do have some finals. So we mentioned the Blue Jackets. They couldn't quite get the double digits, but they did get 9. 9-4 over the Sabres. New York Rangers 5-2 over the Maple Leafs. Tampa Bay couldn't get the shutout, but they did get the win, 6-1.
Nice.
6-1 in that one. Let's see, Braden Point. Well, he got an assist. Yeah, he had 1 assist. That was all the scoring, but Braden Point's doing all kinds of things that just don't wind up in the score sheet. The Flyers, they just keep winning. They just keep winning. 3-2 over the Devils in overtime.
Speaking of, John Tortorella is still there.
Yep. You were asking about him. Tippett with the game-winning goal there. Owen Tippett, unassisted in overtime, got the winner. Golden Knights tried to make things interesting at the end. They did score a couple of goals very late. Wow, very late with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go and with 31 seconds left to go. So they only got doubled up, 6-3. Carolina over Vegas in that one, in what could very well be a Western Conference final preview there. Carolina getting the win 6-3. So we've got some final.
Carolina, hang on. Carolina and Vegas. You mean it could be a Stanley Cup?
I mean a Stanley Cup final. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
As soon as I said it, it was, wait a minute, that sounds wrong. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The other games that are yet in. Oh, and the Wild beat the Bruins. The Wild came back to beat the Bruins in Boston in overtime.
Ooh.
To get that one 4-3. So the game-winning goal went to, as I have to bounce around to my other avenues here. Where'd it go? There they are. The game-winning goal, Kaprizov. Kaprizov got the winner in overtime there as the Wild got the win.
Nice.
And then other games that are still going on. Avalanche and Blackhawks still tied at 2. Islanders are up on the Oilers 3-1. Canucks 4-1 over the Predators, and the Senators end of the first period 3-0 over the Coyotes. Oh. So as we get ready to wrap things up here, and we'll dive some more into this here in the next coming weeks, but we're almost to the end of the year, of the calendar year. So we're almost to the point where it's, things start getting serious. Let's take a look at the standings here real quick, Zach. Who's jumping out at you? Let's start in the Atlantic Division. Who's jumping out at you?
Well, if my Red Wings were still on such a tear, I would say them. But man, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Red Wings. I mean, yeah, they're on a losing streak right now, but they've got really good optimism with Kane on the team now and DeBrincat and all the young guys that are coming up. I wouldn't expect them to, win the cup this year, but I'd be happy if they made the playoffs again.
Yeah, hey, it's the right answer. It's Detroit in the Atlantic Division. They're overachieving. They're a young, scrappy bunch of overachievers with just the right amount of veteran moxie sprinkled in. I agree with you. Detroit's the team there in the Atlantic that is surprising in the good ways.
Yeah.
And then over to the Metro. Who's jumping out at you there?
I got to go Carolina just with the beatdown they put on Vegas tonight.
Yeah, that's a strong beatdown. Philly for me. What in the world is Philly doing in second place in that division? I know this was a team that just last year was
right.
almost the bottom of that division. I still don't know what they're doing up there.
Yeah. Well,
so
in Carolina, they're so close to contention. They seem to keep making it to like the conference finals and then losing from there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, they just need to take it up one more notch, and then they could get there.
That division right now is
the year.
That division right now is ridiculous too. I mean, you look at the standings now. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if this is quite updated for Philly's win tonight, but at least entering tonight, the difference between New Jersey, which is all the way third from the bottom, and Philly in second, 4 points. You know, you have 4 points separating 5 teams there in that division.
You're right. Yeah.
So
right.
it is brutally tight in the Metro. So we could see all kinds of anything happen in that division. That is going to be a fun division to keep an eye on as we get into the new calendar year. And if you're the Rangers, you want to just make sure that you're keeping your distance. You know, they're 6 points in front of Philly. They've got some room to breathe there, but don't back off any. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
Yeah, don't take your foot off the gas.
Exactly. You want to maintain that nice, comfortable distance. You don't want to wind up in that hodgepodge where suddenly, 2 or 3 bad games drops you from second all the way down to 7th,
Yeah.
How about over in the Western Conference at the Central Division? Who's jumping out at you there? Anybody?
Oh, let me see. Side note, all the different things, Christmas coming up. What's your wish list? I think I got mine with Patrick Kane.
Health for the Blackhawks. My gosh. Every day it's, oh, look, that guy got hurt. Oh, look, that guy got hurt. Oh, look, that guy's hurt. This roster was already ridiculously thin, and now you're calling up guys from the backups in the AHL. They're just so thin.
Ugh, yeah.
So I'd appreciate some help. I'm not trying to be unrealistic. I know the Blackhawks are going to be bad this year. I'm not like, hey, go win 7 games out of 10 or something, but I just appreciate it if they could all at least stay healthy.
Right.
For no other reason than eventually it means Connor's going to be the only one left out there.
Right. I know he's Superman, but there's only so much he can do by himself.
Exactly.
Okay, but to answer your question, Western Conference, what stands out the most? I would say Arizona. Just that they're not in last place. It's just like, wow.
Not only are they not in last, they're like in the thick of it. 32 points coming into play tonight, 15, 13, and 2.
They're only 8 points behind Dallas and Colorado.
Exactly. They might not make up any of that ground tonight, but yeah, Arizona to me is definitely a surprise. And Dallas is always a team that to me I always forget about. I always forget about the Stars in the Central. And I'll see them sitting there at the top and I'll go, oh yeah, Tyler Seguin is good. Oh, yeah, these guys have talent. I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm always surprised when I see Dallas at the top. So I have to stay true to myself there. And oh, yeah, Dallas is good. The Stars are good. Go figure. They know what they're doing.
They made the Cup final back in 2020.
And they still have good players. They still know how to play hockey. They've only lost 8 times in regulation all season, and we're almost to Christmas.
Wild. On the flip side, St. Louis surprises me because Craig Berube won the Cup with them, and you're going to fire him? I don't know. I thought they would have given him more longevity.
Yeah, Yeah, but, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, there you go.
What have you done for me lately? And then lastly, the Pacific Division. Who jumps out at you there?
Oh, man. Well, it doesn't surprise me that Vegas is on top, being the defending champs and everything. Seattle, okay, this is their third year, and years 2 and 3 seem very similar so far that they're in contention. Edmonton, just the jump that they've made since, earlier in the season when they were garbage. So I guess Edmonton.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm leaning with this too. But even this is probably the least surprising division. Maybe Vancouver. I'll be nice and say Vancouver just to give a little bit different of an answer there. I wasn't necessarily expecting the Canucks to only have 9 regulation losses here at this point, but that's probably the safest division overall as we sit here just before Christmas, because I do think Edmonton is gonna finish turning things around here and be able to make the climb the rest of the way up.
Yeah, you're right. When you're looking at it, like Vancouver does kind of stand out like a sore thumb because in years past they've been cellar dwellers.
Yeah, we made it. We got through the episode.
Woo-hoo.
Hey, way to go us. Some thank yous and some shout outs as always. Thank you to our sponsor here at the station, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Be sure to check them out, planetjerky.net. Free shipping on orders of $50 or more. Thank you to Larry B., the czar of all things IE Sports Radio. Thank you to Jen B. and Taryn Rodriguez hanging out in the chat room with us tonight. I think we pretty much stayed on the rails tonight, too. I don't think we had to have much of a scorekeeper.
I think we did good.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody for listening. Thank you for being here, whether you're listening live here on Tuesday night or you're catching this later on in the week as a podcast. Thank you for being here and spending some time with us as we enjoy bouncing around the hockey world. We will be back on next week, but between now and then, we're going to have Christmas. So, hope everybody has a safe, wonderful Christmas weekend. If you're traveling this weekend, be careful. There's lots of people out traveling. Just be patient, be kind, be nice. Basically, don't be a hockey general manager.
Stay out of the penalty box.
Stay out of the penalty box. Yes. That's the best advice you can have. Stay out of the penalty box this weekend. Have a wonderful and Merry Christmas, everybody. For IE Sports Radio, he is Zach, I am Adam. Together, we are the Neutral Zone. We